Podsnappers, and welcome to episode 6 of Podsnappery. I'm Hayley Angel.
And this is my coming out party as Ross Pod.
And not the usual kind of coming out party we're used to from you, Ross.
No, I'm not crying in front of my assembled relatives and best friends.
One day I'm going to tell you my terribly disappointing coming out story to my parents. They were just too accepting.
Is today the day? Don't tell me.
No, because we'll be here forever. It did involve Deb distractedly. No, I'm not even going into it.
It does sound like a sad tale of family acceptance, so yeah. Is there any other kind?
So yes, Ross Pod. I'm going to come in and see your very first stand-up show next week. Is that correct?
That's right. Ross Pod is a comedian on the rise. He's about to make his stand-up comedy debut. The feedback from the tens of listeners that we have on this podcast have led me to believe that I belong on a stage, not just heard in the comfort of your own streaming service in your phone. I need to have a blinding spotlight making me sweat and get an on-stage erection while I tell my funny stories.
Are you shitting yourself?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, really? Are you?
It's like 24-hour-a-day bad Indian takeout right now.
Because that has got to be, like, I know that they say, you know, we fear public speaking more than we fear death and all that kind of stuff. But, like, delivering a comedy routine, that's public speaking, I won't even just say on steroids, because that doesn't even seem hardcore enough.
No, well, I will be on steroids and filming a hardcore porno as part of my act. I'm going to inject steroids directly into my penis just before I go on.
Well, I mean, the audiences will be getting something they've never experienced before.
That's right, yeah. Someone who gets roid rage when you don't laugh at his jokes. I'll jump down in the audience and beat the shit out of your grandma if she doesn't laugh at me.
Roid rage.
Which is a really inflamed hemorrhoid.
So we're listening to this on Sunday night. It is now 2 nights. Like, you are going to be performing stand-up in 48 hours.
That's right. So I'll probably be on a 48-hour bender to get myself warmed up for it and to push deep down any fears and anxieties I've got. I'm looking forward to it. I'm actually pretty excited about it. I've written my bits.
Mm-hmm.
My bits are in good shape.
I've heard about your bits.
That's right.
You have whipped them into shape.
Yeah, that's right. Plenty of whipping involved with my bits. But no, they're looking good. I've never been prouder of my bits. And I look forward to sharing them with a lot of other people.
Do you know, like, without getting too soppy and coming back to the woeful tale of family acceptance, I am really proud of you, Ross. Like, this is something where, for me, I've seen some sort of foray into comedy on your horizon for a couple of decades, but I feel like we had a conversation about this maybe 3 months ago, and all of a sudden now you've got a stand-up routine.
Yeah, I guess...
That's a good follow-through you've got on that.
I'm the sort of person that once I decide to do something, I commit to it, so... You
commit to it? You've done a 2-day course, you've written a freaking comedy routine, you've got 2 stand-ups booked in.
Yeah, well, it's always a slippery slope with me. I remember I was sick of living in someone's garage, and instead of just moving out into a normal share house or just a quaint rental property, I just hit up a bank for a loan and ended up buying a house. So I went straight from someone's garage to being a homeowner. I skipped about 10 steps in between.
How did that fucking conversation with the bank manager go down? Is that person still employed?
I said, "Excuse me, Mr. Bank Manager, if you want me to get the fuck out of your garage, you better give me a home loan. I have a 73-cent deposit. I feel like that's enough."
That's fucking gold. So, well, I mean, I can't wait. I am quivering in anticipation.
That's right. She is frothing in her chair as we speak. No, I'm looking forward to it. I've invited you and some other people who are on the least judgmental side of my social circle. So I feel like I'm going to have some good support. It's only 5 minutes, so it's roughly 3 times as long as any sexual experience I've ever had. And if I can face up to that torture time and time again, I'm sure I can do this once.
I feel like there are listeners who are saying, So you're going to give your audience a fabulous 5 minutes, but you make me listen to fucking 55 minutes of your dribbling shit every week. Can we not try and, like, you know, tighten this bad boy right up right here?
Yeah, we need some podcast vaginal reconstruction going on. It's getting a bit loose, isn't it?
It is. So let's get focused then.
All right.
Right. I like to have nothing if but a tight vagina. No, I'm cutting that out. That's horrible. Sorry, Mum.
There'll be no tight vagina references in this episode.
Today we are looking at Zoo magazine.
I doubt there's going to be a tight vagina anywhere near the vicinity of this magazine.
No. So, you may remember our existential crisis last week that resulted in Ross and I driving aimlessly around outer Brisbane suburbs trying to get hold of a magazine that would give us some kind of inspiration to be able to create a podcast and to come and sit with you all tonight. Now, we failed miserably in that endeavour and ended up coming together and just talking shit about many topics. We did actually get to cover same-sex marriage, which was quite nice.
Which we've actually officially endorsed. So from the ruins,
yes, that's right.
From the ruins of our creativity, we actually took a political position.
We did.
And I thought we had pathos and
I'm so empowered right now. I'm so empowered that I'm going to come back to Zoo magazine.
But you're going to come back empowered.
I'm going to come back empowered. Well, like, to ensure this didn't happen again, that I wasn't stuck in a car with Ross for any amount of time, any longer than I should be, I did some Gumtree hauling. I've recently downloaded the app on my phone and I've become slightly obsessed. So when Ross and I decided we couldn't find magazines, I thought Gumtree was going to be the answer. And oh my God, was it. About 7 visits to various locations around outer Brisbane and $25 later, I came back. I arrive today, Ross, with 4 massive Coles, like, eco bags full of magazines ranging from, like, 1989 to today.
Yeah, and we've already discussed the fact that I'm going to have to hide these 4 bags full of magazines from my 13-year-old son, because if he even sees the front cover of one Zoo magazine, this is going to be a masturbation emporium around here.
So we discovered, didn't we, that this magazine ceased to be produced in 2012.
That's right, yeah, I'm looking at one in front of me, 2008.
I bought them from some lady off Gumtree who, when I went to collect them, was so deeply embarrassed, and as soon as I walked through the door was like, oh, but they're not mine, they're actually a friend of mine's son, and she was trying to get rid of them, and then she said that I was on Gumtree, so could I sell them? And I was thinking, surely she could have just set up her own Gumtree account. But the woman did look at me on a really long pause and said, I've got to ask, what do you want these magazines for?
It is probably the first.
The fact I was wearing Birkenstocks really kind of brought the point home for her, but apparently not. She was making no judgments.
If she'd been able to see your Southern Cross tram stand tattoo, then maybe it would have all made sense. But
yes, that's true. Yeah,
it probably is the first time in history that there's been a Zoo magazine transaction from one woman to another woman, and at least one of those women is married to a woman.
Yeah, and the other woman had 3 lovely young children, and had a very nice home.
What are those kids going to do for Zoo magazines? Didn't she think about, like, an inheritance system or something? Like, there could be a trust set up, and one Zoo magazine could be released each month for the duration of their adult lives?
Well, of the bags and bags, I've got to tell you, Ross, my favourite is Big Beautiful Women of Australia, the spring 1989. This was $4.90 in 1989. Wasn't that about, like, $25?
That's more than my house would be worth.
Which is just a whole collection of plus-size women with all sorts of various plus-size fashions, of which I've definitely purchased in op shops over the last three years. So there's a whole mishmash of magazines, of which you, dear listeners, will have the chance to walk through with us over coming weeks. But for today, we thought to follow through on our quest from last week, it's Zoo magazine.
It's got to be Zoo.
It's got to be Zoo.
It's been weeks of pent-up frustration.
Look, I'm all about when lesbians kill, 10 lady-loving loons. I want Sammy's sex guide, 20 guaranteed ways to please any woman, and she's tested them all. I want the 10 hottest beach babes. I want Pope reveals the new sins. Are you going to hell? I want... What else have we got here, Ross?
I've got in front of me, there's going to be a Big Brother dwarf sexy shoot. There's going to be the best in celeb sex tapes. and the 43 hottest Big Brother babes in the world. Not just Australia, the entire world. So there's got to be some Scandinavian desperado reality TV chicks in here.
I mean, we're definitely giving the naughties away here with any references to Big Brother. I mean, has that even existed post kind of 2010?
It exists in the rose-tinted glasses of my memories. It was a great cultural touchstone back then, but I feel like everyone in Big Brother had a faux hawk at the time. You know, whenever all dudes started gelling their hair to the middle, had a middle spike, but they wouldn't actually shave the head. They just sort of crafted their own shitty mohawk.
Yes. Oh, yeah, that was horrible.
And frosted tips, was it? Like a lot of men had frosted tips on their faux hawk?
Right, okay, Roscoe, are you ready? We're going to dive right into this. Okay, so look, this is bang on topic. I've just flipped to jokes. Laugh or we shoot the puppy.
Oh, Christ. Is it a good-looking puppy?
It's a lovely little Labrador puppy.
Okay, we want to save it.
No, we want to save it.
We're going to laugh.
Okay, so I feel like this is Zoo 2000 is coming back from 2008 to give you material for Tuesday's stand-up show. Now, I want you to see if this can be subtly incorporated. Are you ready? Why did the bogan cross the road?
I don't know, Hayley. Why did the bogan cross the road?
Oh, to start a fight with a complete stranger for no reason, you can't.
It wasn't funny until they used the C word, was it? You got to throw the C word in.
Can I just say I added that in?
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Dave Seduna from South Australia is so... Like, what idiot wouldn't have added you cunt on the end? Like, I'm sorry, but that's Bogan 101.
It's not so much a punchline as a viable political statement, isn't it? Like a social change that we all need to make. So.
Yeah, all right, Dave. All right, we're crossing. That's not going in the routine. It's gone. Dave added nothing. All right. Paltry amount, this is called. It could be promising. You know, we've had some sultry poultry. Let's see.
A bit of a callback to episode 3.
Okay, are you ready? Oh, there's not really a... you don't get to respond to this. I just say the question, and that's the joke.
Oh, I'm going to listen intently. I'll probably touch my nipples while you do it. But anyway.
Okay. There's a new unit of time that's just been invented. It's the time between putting a piece of chicken in your mouth and the realization that you don't like peri-peri sauce. It's called a nanosecond.
Oh, okay. Yeah, a bit of product placement. Is that even a thing, though? Who doesn't like peri-peri sauce, first of all?
Yeah, I know.
It's a bit of a tenuous context for the joke. I really think these Zoo Reader jokes aren't top quality.
And can I just say, like, Dave Seduna from South Australia with his road bitho, his bogan call,
oh, yeah.
You know, he's giving it a shot. He's writing into the magazine, he's doing jokes, laugh or we shoot the puppy, he's getting involved. The nanosecond joke, that came from Tim Vine, a UK stand-up comedian.
Oh, okay, so
This is professional level.
He's actually promoting himself here.
Yeah, he is.
So that's my competitor.
Yeah, I feel like you're going to do quite well on Tuesday after reading that.
Yeah, I feel like I'll be flying business class to London and...
You're in Edinburgh Fringe next year. You're headlining.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Tim, you doucher. Right, what else have we got here? Oh, okay. So we're moving on from jokes because this contributed nothing and I can see the other ones aren't even funny. So I'm just going to save us all that.
No.
I'm flipping forward, though. This is interesting. So this is where this beautiful woman here in this lovely white bikini, I think it's quite tasteful.
I'm looking at her upside down like she was some sort of vampire bat stripper, and she is good looking.
Poor thing, vampire bat stripper. So I'm looking at her bikini fits here, but then it doesn't fit on the cover. What's happened there?
Are you questioning the integrity of Zoo Magazine's cover models? I don't know, mate.
Look! There's perfect coverage, and they're quite, like, they're fairly normal-sized breasts, but then on the cover, they're like, exploded!
That's right.
How airbrushed is that?
Yeah, that's right. And that's actually a thing, isn't it?
That's disturbing!
Did they ever bring in a thing where there's standards about how much you are allowed to airbrush?
Yeah, well, that wasn't in 2008.
No, 2008 was
They're just laughing in the face of all standards.
This is actually a 75-year-old woman. She's been airbrushed to within an inch of her 20s.
Okay, we're getting this on the Facebook page. How a woman with fairly nice, considering she's very trim and athletic, the sorts of size breasts you would imagine. You know, they're very natural.
I spend a lot of time imagining breasts this size.
But on the cover, she's like some kind of psyched up adult film star.
Oh, what's an adult film? I've never heard of such a thing.
Oh,
Is that like... No, we got to cut that. That's shocking.
We're cutting that whole section out.
Can we start it again?
Okay, all right. So basically, the magazine, which has already told us how full of shit it is by completely exacerbating the size of this woman's otherwise delicious breasts, is now trying to tell us that this young woman has given us her personally tried and tested top sex tips.
And she's hit upon, I only just saw glimpses of the headings there. I saw the word threesome and sex toy.
I know. The number 20 is no penetration. That's her sex tip.
Was she talking about Keno? What are we on about? Number 20. Oh, all right. It's question number 20.
Yeah, this is tip number 20. Right. Tip number 20 of her sex tips for men. Tip number 20 is no penetration.
That's a tip.
That's a tip. She's giving you a tip. I agree wholeheartedly with this. You know, a cock's just ruined sex. She's telling you, I'm telling you. She's saying you need, the spoon position is great and use lots of lubricant to take foreplay to the next level.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, so let's go from 20 because, that's her bottom, that's her scraping the bottom of the barrel tip. Just
the bottom of the lubricant barrel.
That's right.
You can oil yourself up with wood chips and aged bourbon. You smell like Mila Kunis on her 3rd wedding anniversary to Ashton Kutcher.
Why is she on that ad?
She has never drunk Jim Beam.
Why is she on that ad?
No one buys it.
What is it about her that makes... Is it because she's, gorgeous but would be fun?
Yeah, I think she seems like the type
accessible, hot.
If she was your mate's girlfriend, you wouldn't mind that she was tagging along and playing pool with you.
Okay.
She seems like the cool mate's girlfriend.
Okay.
And then... Yeah, but I don't know. I'm just not buying it because I know that Mila Kunis is the daughter of a Russian immigrant. So just by knowing that, she's got to be a vodka chick, surely.
Oh, totally.
Russian women only drink vodka.
Totally.
They only drink vodka for 60 years, then grow a moustache after their husbands pass away. That's all I know about Russian women.
Yeah, and then obviously that they feed that vodka to their children.
Yeah, that's right. They pour vodka into potato halves that they've baked. And
we're getting as accurate as this woman's breasts on the front cover. Okay, so a number 1 tip. Now, what I want to ask you, I want you to listen to this. You're going to use your powers of...
Well, what is it? This is her advice.
I want you to tell me, did a woman write this? I want you to tell me if you just get your dick out of your hand and say, would a woman legitimately give this advice? That's what I'm asking you about.
I'm happy to give my opinion, but I think we should actually find out your opinion as well, Hayley. And let's
okay, well, you read it then, and I'll tell you if I think a woman wrote it. Right, number 1.
Find my spectacles.
With your adult film. Film. And do you know how older people do that, triple chew thing? Have you noticed that when older people eat, they have... a chew, but then their jaws do a quadruple chew?
Well, they've got 3 sets of teeth. I guess they do, and to be fair. They've got their dentures and then their... Hayley, that was quite disturbing. If you've ever wondered what someone trying not to swallow 3 men's loads at once looks like, that's what Hayley was just doing. Okay, anyway, so this is this zoo model Sammy's... She's telling us how to do multiple orgasms.
Okay, hit me with it.
Usually I just set aside 2 months in my calendar and take a few days off in between. Anyway, how to do it. You need staying power for this one. Start with an hour of foreplay before you even think about sex. Well, wouldn't you be thinking about sex during foreplay? You just randomly touching someone while you're doing your shopping
Playing noughts and crosses.
Yeah, let's play Yahtzee while I touch your tits. Anyway.
That's not possible for anyone.
It's not possible for most men to comprehend a sentence of that length, let alone the meaning of it.
And not thinking about sex during it.
There was a 2-syllable word in there. Anyway.
Okay, so don't think about sex, foreplay for now. I endorse that wholeheartedly.
And then it goes into more pure fantasy that no men can relate to, when she's already climaxed once or twice from your tongue. Well, yeah, I'm going to make my girlfriend come twice.
And then I'm going to fly off on a unicorn, you fucking dickhead.
I'm going to make the unicorn come twice. I'm gonna take a rainbow load all over my face. Fucking bullshit. Anyway, yeah, okay, so she's climaxed twice, yeah. Alright, my tongue can do that. Okay. Take it to the next level with your love truncheon.
Does it say love truncheon?
Is there a genial London Bobby coming along? He's going to arrest you.
Hello.
What do we got here? That looks like a wet vagina. Just let me get my love truncheon. It's just making me think of luncheon meat. Just getting a giant roll of sandwich sausage.
I feel like a lot of women would get a lot more pleasure with that too.
Right, you could get off 4 or 5 times and then make yourself a sanger after.
7.
Feel like a pickled meat, but anyway. Thrust slow and steady, and remember to give her love button plenty of attention.
Oh my god. Are we supposed to believe she used love truncheon and then referred to her clit as a love button?
I was always taught never to touch the big red button, so I don't even know. This is conflicting life advice. Well, hang on. Well, now not only she's given us that. Anyway, I'm calling bullshit that she wrote this.
Yeah, I called bullshit before you even started.
I don't know what's more unlikely: Mila Kunis slamming down a bourbon at the rodeo bar,
or this woman,
or this chick sharing a love truncheon tips. But anyway, this filthy liar is saying that when I tried it, I was screaming for hours. Well, stop it! If it's that painful.
When did she try it? Who did she? What? It says a lot more than that.
It says multiple orgasms are the greatest thing I've ever experienced. It's impossible to describe how you feel after. My body was pulsating for hours. I think she was having a stroke. Take the electrodes off and bloody see a doctor.
Okay, I don't think that we even need to read any more tips from Zach. These are clearly not from Zach. These are from a 16-year-old lad.
Oh, I think I can only handle one sex tip at a time, so maybe we should space these out a bit.
Okay, next week, Sammy's sex tip number 2.
I won't even think about another sex tip until I've had an hour of foreplay.
I'm sorry, I just spat my beer all over.
Well, now we know the answer to does Hayley spit or swallow. The recording device is now coated in a fine film of amber liquid. Which now we have to admit to the listeners that we have alcoholic beverages during this. They probably have been thinking we're stone cold sober.
So, yeah, I know what, sat at a train station or something. No, we're currently. Why do you have Carlsberg? Is this where it's like the girlfriend? Is it that like if Carlsberg did, roommates and that shit? Did you actually buy into that marketing ploy?
I saw a Mila Kunis ad where she was drinking Carlsberg. And I thought that looks authentic.
If Carlsberg did stand up.
Yeah. No, this is where not only am I coming out as a burgeoning stand-up comedian,
right?
I'm coming out as a cheap prick.
I knew it was on special. Ross drinking Carlsberg. Never.
I will only buy beer based on what's on special that week. I will choose from the specials board.
It's so obvious. You didn't. That was just a wasted 5 minutes of our lives. You explaining that.
You don't make your way out of the bank manager's garage by drinking high-end premium boutique craft beers.
I just got to acknowledge though and say thank you, Ross, because you brought this to me in a little. What's this called again?
It's a beer condom.
Yeah. What?
It's a cooler.
It just reminded me we used to call the bit that goes in an umbrella the brolly dom.
The brolly dom.
I remember that.
Yeah, okay.
I think that's the first laugh you ever got from me. I think we were 13, telling you about your brolly dom. I had no idea you were hitting on me, but I thought it was brilliant.
You thought I was talking about Dom DeLuise or something, but
the brolly dom. So yeah, I've got the beer dom and the brolly dom. And do you know what I learned today? That an ibis is called a bin chicken. Thanks, Facebook, for that. Thank you, Scott Strange, if you're listening, which you're probably not.
No, he definitely isn't. In fact, if Scott Strange is actually hearing this, then well done. It only took you 6 episodes, which for my best friend.
What can we say? Because he's not going to be listening. So what can we say? We need a message.
Scott Strange's repulsive to women and bin chickens alike. If an ibis had a chance at dating Scott Strange, the ibis would take a shit on his Tinder picture, fly off, and then blow my unicorn.
Yeah, that's for you, Scotty.
Yeah,
right.
Suck my balls.
Take that. Yeah. Okay, so from Sammy's sex tips, is this the same bitch or is it a different person?
I'm sure every second woman in Zoo is called Sammy.
Oh, this is not the same. No, it is. Or isn't it? I can't tell from her fake boobs. Because they're different there again.
If only boobs were like fingerprints, but they're just not.
She has 3 different sized breasts according to the section of the magazine.
Yeah.
So we've got here. So we of course were titillated by Ross's responses to Dolly Doctor questions from, was it circa 1994 or something? When was that? Was that 2008?
I think it was 2015.
2000. Oh, it was 2015.
When you get to our age, it's all a blur.
Yeah, it's all a blur. I can't remember anything before 2011. So Zoo Uncut. Oh no, I don't want that. Sorry. So Sammy and Susanna's sex score. So this is basically where people are writing in to the people who are clearly not answering them because we've already debunked everything Sammy has put her name to in this magazine. So people are writing in with asking Sammy and Susanna for advice.
Okay.
So I feel like in the way that you were able to give 14-year-old girls advice on their various body and period issues.
I ruined their adolescence.
You did. Time to ruin the adolescence of some young men as well. So,
Okay.
we're all about gender balance in this podcast.
That's right. I'm an equal opportunity ruiner of lives.
Exactly. Okay, so I'm a 21-year-old guy and I'm circumcised. I've been with a lot of girls in my time, but I've never really asked them what they prefer. Circumcised or uncircumcised? Well, that's kind of specifically for these women, isn't it? He's not really interested whether you think it's good that he's circumcised, is he?
I've had sex with circumcised and uncircumcised zoo readers. And I found
What's your advice for Aaron?
My advice for Aaron, well...
It's a bit late, isn't it? You can't really change it.
You can't uncircumcise yourself.
Yeah, so Aaron, you're fucked.
I guess you could peel a Cheerio and, and I don't know, you could super glue some Cheerio skin to the end of your penis.
I'm not judging.
I'm sure a Zoo Weekly model would be fine with it.
Because Aaron's already got a shot with these two. We know that.
Well, what did the girls say? Did they state a preference?
Oh, a penis is a penis no matter how it's wrapped. When I want sex, it makes absolutely no difference. The only thing that comes into play for me is size. My guy definitely has to be well endowed to make me scream.
Oh.
This Sammy has got some violence issues or she's being abused.
She needs a ball gag. And I'm not talking about my scrotum.
That's the worst advice ever. I'm talking about some girl being abused. You're saying give her a ball gag.
Don't speak out.
Yeah. Okay. Please forgive us for that, listeners.
We'll
never make light of domestic violence or rape again.
No, I hope that half this episode is edited out. I'll be disappointed if this episode's even released.
This will not make it to air, I'm telling you. And Susanna says, this has been debated over many a girl's night out. That is not true, and that's not just because I'm gay. This has been debated over many a girl's night out. A lot of women still say they prefer circumcised without ever actually experiencing someone with a little something extra, and I think that's a shame. At the end of the day, I think it doesn't really matter. It's what you do with it that counts.
Yeah, if you can tally your tax return with your circumcised penis, it's all good. If you can operate an abacus with your schlong.
Oh, what is it? Well, we've learned nothing from this. That's just unhelpful and just a waste of column space. That whole interaction.
Look, as a bloke, I'm calling bullshit on the fact that women would even keep count of who was circumcised and who was uncircumcised.
No, keep the light off. That shit's ugly. No one likes the look of that.
We want a ball gag, a blindfold. We want
a girl's night in.
And a sensory deprivation tank. Preferably the man isn't even invited in. It's just a girls only, outside the pants only, hours long foreplay session.
Now that definitely has a place in a magazine advice column. Okay, I want to go down on my girl so badly, but she says she feels self-conscious. Okay, that is a real thing. I'm disturbed about that. I can't believe that women are so weird about it. But, it is a real thing. So I'm liking this Tony from Adelaide is coming at us with a real issue, I think.
Although Adelaide, like, I would think that'd be more like a sweating hygiene issue. Like, I can understand in the humid tropical far north of Queensland, maybe you don't want a Christmas Day 69 session. But in the dry heat of an Adelaide, Barossa Valley, wine trip, disabled toilet, cunnilingus session, I can't see anything wrong with it. Who cares if she hasn't had a shower for 3 days? She's drunk, you're drunk, just go with it. The wine tour bus is leaving in 25 minutes. You don't have all day.
I really feel like a glass of wine. Okay, all right, Tony. No, but Tony's saying he wants to. He's up for it. She's feeling self-conscious. Oh, can I just say this, by the way, got letter of the week and an A+.
Okay,
so Tony's got a real issue, right?
Let's see if the response is an A+.
Well, no, he continues. Tony continues, if you let me.
Oh, of course he does. He's a fucking windbag. I learned to touch type. Now nothing's going to stop me.
Self-conscious.
Look at this.
Can't get a word in. Right.
150 words of A+ letter of the week coming right up. Uh-oh, I have to backspace that one. Forgot my caps lock.
It is perfectly grammatically correct. I'll give Tony that. I don't care what she looks like down there. I just want to please her. We've been together for a few years now, and I've never done it to her. It's fucking gone. I hate that Zoom magazine. That's done. We need to change magazines.
You can't even have a conversation with a man who will date a woman for 3 years without imposing his face on her genitals. We don't know what we're doing, but the effort's appreciated.
And can I just say, if there are any women listening to this who've been in a relationship for longer than, what are we getting? I mean, if you've had sex more than 3 times and you're not prepared to let him get down there,
get down on it,
then I feel like that there's a therapist you need to go and talk to. Is that brutal? Because surely you're loving it, he's loving it, you want to please him, he wants to please you. Isn't that what sex is all about? Isn't that what relationships are about?
I think I've been with women who have outright refused me physical access.
What? Girls, what are we doing?
I don't know.
What is wrong with you? Would you have been, like, seriously, like, you're saying, babe, I want to do it. I'm not. Oh, see, exactly. Push the point.
I'm not a filth merchant. I would never speak so outright about it.
All she did is she half covers it with her hand, and you're like, oh, she hates it. She never wants me to go there. Right? I'll never push the point again.
She's like, oh no, I was just pulling my pants aside. Oh no, it's over.
If you're not comfortable, I don't want to force you.
The moment's gone. It's over. The window's closed. I always thought it would be a win-win, because if you're with a bloke and, like, if he's not the most attractive man in the world, not only do you get sexual pleasure from him, but you don't have to see his face and be put off by it.
It's a win on every level. I don't understand why women are fighting this, but I'm sure those same women are only too happy to go down on their partner. I can understand, I guess, if you're someone who doesn't want anyone's mouth on anything that belongs in underwear.
No.
I suppose I can respect that more. But I know a lot of women who will go there, but they won't receive it. And I think that's really sad. That's what I mean, because they're going, oh no, I feel self-conscious, but then I don't want him to miss out.
Okay, so the self-denial is the thing. But still being giving.
Yeah, because, women just are total martyrs and are selfless in all occasions.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, I can only blame this on the patriarchy, to be honest. I think that sounds like a very male-centric way about it. Like, if anyone's going to miss out, it's probably going to be the self-conscious woman who hates her own body. And the man's just getting blown by the hot chick with self-esteem issues. Totally.
And I feel like you've also admitted on air that any time that you had a partner who wouldn't let you go down on her, she also wouldn't go down on you. So really, we know the whole reason she made up this fake story that she felt self-conscious was because she didn't want your penis in her mouth.
I think you're overlooking the fact that this girlfriend never existed and that I've invented the whole scenario. I've never had sex. I've never heard the word vagina until today.
We can all believe that. Now, Sammy's bullshit we can't believe. Ross admitting to never having had sex, that is the most believable thing I've heard since I opened this Zoo magazine.
Never a truer word has been spoken.
Now, because I just piffed the magazine to the other side of the room and the covers come off and it's fallen apart.
It was quite an impressive throw. The destruction of our magazine collection has started in earnest.
Thank God I have 45,000 more editions of which to stand in place.
And I feel like the outrage will continue for the entire collection because you only made it through 3 different articles.
This podcast podcast will now be me pipping Zoo magazines at a brick wall, recording it, and maybe we can have it played as a piece of art.
All right. Well, how about we start at the back of this one?
Let's start at the back. Let's go from behind. Sue would endorse that.
Nice. I only perform cunnilingus from behind. It's my thing. Call me a brown noser, but it's just what I do.
This podcast started with a whole discussion about the beautiful birth of your daughter, and by episode 6, this is what we've become.
Descended into absolute filth.
I'm sorry, listeners.
With the decay in our listenership, the standards are just...
So too has everything dropped. As the quality of your beer has decreased, as you've, inflicted Carlsberg discount, out-of-date bullshit on us, so too, and we are...
It's like the inverse of my cunnilingus habits. The less I go down, the more our listeners go down in numbers.
So, thanks to the second Zoo magazine I have here, Pub Ammo, your weekly dose of mate silence and bloke data. Oh, no, I like this. This is some bloke data. Okay.
Some bloke data. All right, let's do it.
Let me add some bloke data. Carl Sandilands. What do you think of Carl Sandilands? Do you like him?
I admire the fact that he's willing to be so hated, and I subscribe to that hate. That's about it.
Do you know what? Sometimes I listen to him, and I think, oh, you've moved to a different place, or maybe you're not the same Carl Sandilands that everybody hated, and maybe you've got something to add to the world. And then he'll go on some big rant about how fat and disgusting some woman who, in the public sphere is, and how much they, deserve to be treated like shit because they're a fat piece of shit. So I just think, mate, you're a dickhead.
But he's a large man.
Yes! He is a large man.
He totally would expect a head job and not go down on...
I know! He's the definition of why that magazine is now sitting in a crumpled heap on the floor over there by your back door.
He does not reciprocate.
Anyway,
let's go some Pub Ammo.
While he doesn't reciprocate, he has admitted he drinks 30 lattes and 8 litres of Coke per day.
Well, is he a wanker or a bogan? What is he, latte or Coke? What?
Can I just tell you that based on our comments about Carl so willing to comment on the stature of a woman, for example, this magazine has put in brackets. So after it's given you the Pub Ammo, a little bit of mate silencing bloke data, it's told you about Carl Sandilands' drinking habits, it's put in brackets, the fat cunt.
Right.
Thanks for that, Zoo. Though just no comment on whether he's a bogan or a what's it called when you're a hipster.
Yeah, that's right.
That's the word I was looking for. Right, okay, bloke data. That's not very helpful. Woolworths was originally called the Great 5-cent Store.
Can you be great and only worth 5 cents?
Most things I wear cost about 5 cents.
Most of my comments into this podcast would only be worth a 5-cent listen.
The tickets to your next stand-up show are worth 5 cents.
No, this is the Woolies of podcast episodes, this one.
Tablecloths were originally used as towels with which dinner guests could wipe their hands and faces after eating.
Oh, so dinner guests are just going down on the table, Manchester. That's bad table manners, I would have thought.
Well,
like nowadays.
Well, I think maybe we should do it and just say to people, excuse me, as you sip on your 30th latte, I'll have you know that the origins of the tablecloth meant that I was to gently dab either side of my mouth.
I'll have you know that I insist on a minimum of 1 hour of foreplay with my girlfriend.
Hipster dick.
And allow me to give a demonstration on this tablecloth.
Did you know that we inhale around 700,000 of our own skin flakes every day? Thanks, Sue.
There should be like a Fitbit counter, and if you're not getting up to your skin flake quota, you just like cut up a line and just snort it directly into your bloodstream.
Is that Apple Watch 8 feature?
Yeah. Skin flake. That would be when Kellogg's has run out of ideas.
Oh.
Just put some condensed milk onto a bowl of your unwashed scalp flakes.
I'm so glad we started this one from behind. My God. Okay, here we go. Oh, let's end Let's end with a quiz.
Oh,
We love a magazine
A quiz. I'm sure it'll be tasteful and enlightening and will teach me something about my inner psyche.
And we'll be so genuine and authentic. I bet Sammy wrote the answers to this quiz. That's how authentic and real it is.
Sammy wrote these answers by queefing Morse code for Tony to touch type for the...
Kyle enjoyed this with his 16th latte. Okay, so this is a quiz. It's a part of the Psychopath special.
Well, I think we're ready for it.
Ross, are you evil? Dun dun dun!
I feel like I'm more of a Scott Evil than anything else.
What does that mean?
You know, Scott Evil. Dr. Evil.
Oh, right, sorry. I was
Seth Green.
thinking, what? Where are you going with that? Oh, yes, I like
You know,
yeah.
oh, look at me on zippy long stockings.
You are Scott Evil. You are totally Scott Evil.
Alright.
Okay, alright, zippy long stockings. Let's go. Number 1. You laugh uproariously whenever a kitten dies. Yes, 10 points, no, 0 points.
Do I want lots of points or do I want little points?
I feel like if the answer is 10, if yes is 10 points and no is 0 points, I think it's telling you want as few points as possible. I don't even think we need to read the rules of the quiz to know that.
Alright. I don't want to kill a kitten, but I'm not averse to smashing a pussy if I have to, so...
Oh my god! No,
Can
0 points. You fucking dickhead. Right. Have you at any time committed or felt compelled to commit mass genocide? Yes, 10 points, no, 0 points.
Nah, I need you to start the quiz again. I'm not happy with that smashing a pussy. Like,
I love it.
that's chauvinistic.
No, it's funny!
In no way have I ever smashed a pussy or could even be physically capable of smashing a pussy, not without at least an hour's warm-up.
Okay. 2. Have you at any time committed or felt compelled to commit mass genocide? Yes, 10 points, no, 0 points.
No. I felt sad when genocide last happened, so 0 points, please.
How's your current affairs knowledge, Ross?
When was the last Is there a genocide happening right now?
Okay, let's move on. Which of the following innovators do you most admire? So A, Hitler, 2 points. B, Stalin, 2 points. C, Martin Luther King, 0 points. D, Gandhi, minus 2 points. I thought that was 2 points for Gandhi. I was like, what? Boy George, 10 points.
Poor old Boy George.
Aww.
Did you see him on that ad for the Voice, the Australian The Voice? Were you attuned to Australian TV?
Yes, yeah, I saw that. What was his shtick on the ad?
What's your Boy George gear like? No, I just found it ironic because Boy George, not only has his career been in freefall for the last 20 years, but I don't think his actual singing voice has improved or even maintained its 1980s level.
No,
so
I know.
There's nothing worse than a judge on something called The Voice having a pretty mediocre singing voice.
I'm pretty sure if you've produced Karma Karma Chameleon, you can judge anybody else.
Well, I think the Chameleon's given plenty of karma back to Boy George now because...
I know, from the brink of death, he's managed to piece together some kind of terrible career that involves an Australian bloody reality singing show.
That's right. Boy George's voice is going about as well as George Michael's actual ability to be alive.
Oh my god.
Imagine a crossover, Boy George Michael. It could be a singing cadaver.
No, I'm sorry. I have to bring this dead magazine back from the brink. This quiz sucks. That's going in the bin. This is coming back because I want... That comment is just beautifully pieced together, something that I read while thoughtfully flipping through this Lads magazine full of dirty classifieds.
It would be the only beautifully pieced together thing that's ever happened on this podcast.
Sex advice from the dead. This is the Boy George Michael crossover you've been looking for. Medium Trev Matthews channels dead celebs to answer sex dilemmas from beyond the grave.
So it's not celebrity advice, it's sex advice from a celebrity.
Yeah.
Who most probably died of HIV from From oh, Charlie Sheen, it's too soon. Don't go yet. Don't go, Charlie.
Thank God only 22 people listen to this podcast.
2.5 men is the number of people that infected Charlie Sheen. One of them was Ashton Kutcher, and one of them was the fat kid that grew up to disown 2.5 men. What will Emilio do without you? Don't leave us with Emilio.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. Leave and don't take that one.
Take Emilio, God. Take Emilio.
I'm sorry, Emilio Estevez, if you're listening.
Oh.
Dear Trev, my new girlfriend says she craves fantasy in a sex life. I'm not that creative, but I don't want to disappoint. Please help. Now, before Nico gets some advice from a dead celebrity, I'd like him to get some advice from you, Ross.
Right. Yeah, well, my comedy career is dying as we speak. So,
so really, it's quite apt that you respond.
Yeah, let's do this.
So his girlfriend, she craves some fantasy. He's not very creative. Right, Nico's his nickname. I mean, it says it all, really. So he doesn't want to disappoint. What can he do?
To be honest, I was still daydreaming about the death of
Emilio
Emilio
Estevez in place of his brother Charlie.
Oh, star of such hits as whatever Emilio
Mighty Ducks? Mighty Ducks?
Oh, Mighty Ducks.
I know you forgot Mighty Ducks. I could see the realisation in your eyes just then.
So he was the lovable coach that took that ragtag bunch of, well...
The coach, or was he the main... Wasn't he one of the...
No, he was the former star ice hockey player, and then he sort of had a failed... And he was all bitter about it.
It really kind of set up his whole career, didn't it? It was kind of prophetic in a lot of ways.
It was a parable of how his next 20 years would turn out. Anyway, from the final high point of Emilio Estevez's acting career... Penny, hit me again. What?
Okay. Oh my God, this is the third time. Oh, do you want me to give you what the response from Beyond the Grave was?
I have no idea what you said to me in the last 2 minutes because I was trying to remember why Emilio Estevez was even famous.
Okay, Dear Trev, which is the medium for sex dilemmas Beyond the Grave.
Trev, and then you don't have to introduce the podcast again. Just summarise. Give me the key words.
My new girlfriend says she craves fantasy in her sex life.
Right.
I'm not that creative, but I don't want to disappoint, which he already is, obviously.
Right. Yeah.
Please help, from Nico in Brisbane. You have a mate, Nick? Do you reckon that's him?
It's the only one I know of. It's the only one in existence.
It's the only one in Brisbane, that's for sure. All right, Nick, we know who you are.
So he's not creative, but
he's not creative, but his girlfriend wants a bit of fantasy.
Okay.
What would you suggest he does?
Oh, I'd suggest he probably aim for an hour of foreplay, and then read all of Zoo magazine.
And maybe pitch his advice to someone who's still living.
Who was the celeb giving the advice? Wasn't it just Trev?
Trev is the medium.
Right.
Trev's the medium for the dead celebrities.
It's a fairly basic premise, but I'm really struggling to...
It's so obvious that the average reader of Zoo magazine can get it first time round while also masturbating over pictures of Sammy. Right, okay, so Trevor says, to answer this...
Alright, and Trevor is Charlie Sheen's brother? Is that...
Trevor channels J.R.R. Tolkien in his response. He's entering my body now. Hello. Greetings, Nico, or Silyad, as we say in Elvish. I always found nature got my juices flowing. My dearest friend C.S. Lewis and I would meet twice a week in a secluded part of the village common for ginger beer, cucumber sandwiches, and a spot of light rimming. Our fantasies ran wild. Little men with shiny rings, big staffs, a mighty tower with an eye on top. Thrilling stuff. Yes, nature always opened my mind, and frequently my anus. Oops, he's gone. Hope that helps, Trev.
So... he's basically outing J.R.R. Tolkien as a depraved village.
I don't think we should be surprised after the last hour we've had. This has been 53 minutes that have set me up to not be surprised by J.R.R. Tolkien being called upon for his rimming skills.
Remember that Channel 9 newsreader, Hugh Remington? If there was a guy ever...
It's so still around, is he? Is he on like 60 Minutes? He's quite someone now.
Just giving Tracy Grimshaw room jobs in the Channel 9 newsroom.
But I think he might be like a featured... I think he might be a headliner.
Right.
I'm Googling it. Let me just check. Make sure that Hugh Remington did disappear along with our respective podcasting careers. I can't type in Hugh. It just keeps typing hi. Hugh Remington... It doesn't really come up on like.
Does it come up with a sex tape?
Yes, he is the guy. I saw an interview with him. His first job was as a cleaner in like a science lab. He was cleaning up like animal poo.
Oh, all right. Now he's just rolling around in the filth of modern day current affairs reporting.
So it really has been paralleled beautifully. As Hugh Remington's career has been paralleled beautifully, so too is this podcast. As we draw to a close and reflect on the insights that we've shared over the previous 54 minutes.
How good is Zoo Magazine, just quietly? I've never been so outraged and so incapable of remembering a simple sex question.
And really, just to top it off, my final thoughts on Zoo are this. Thank you, listeners, for joining us once again for another Podsnappery podcast. As always, I'm Hayley Angel.
And I'm Ross Pod.
And we'll see you again for more fun next week. Bye.
See ya.
See you. Bye. 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 Bye.